Yo. Welcome back to the SHU Program. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. Jay, Marv, what's going on, fellas?
Hot as hell. It is hell on earth out here in LA.
I'm chilling, man. Chilling. Back for another episode, trying to catch up. Got a lot of, things to unpack and talk shit about. So,
Well, shoot, let's hop into it right away, fellas. I think first things first, let's go ahead and talk about She-Hulk. We know we're right around the corner, actually, from D23, so we'll have some more Marvel Disney news next week. But how are y'all feeling about She-Hulk so far?
good show. I just think it's corny, and y'all know what I'm talking about too.
I think we
Yeah, that last episode, I could see that. I'm enjoying it though. I do think that I think my only con against it is that it's moving really fast. A lot of I think the third episode especially was jumping really fast.
Yeah,
And it was just
sure.
jumping I just don't feel like we're spending enough time with She-Hulk. We're just kind of thrust into it. And so, I don't like to use the word rush, but it does feel kind of rushed. And this only has 6 episodes, right?
I was about to ask you. I thought it was 8, right? Or is it 6? I thought this one was longer because it was shorter episodes.
Let me see. How many episodes?
It needs to be 8, I'll tell you that. Because if it's already halfway over, this is not going to be a good show.
9 episodes, actually. 9.
Well, it's 9. Okay.
But it feels like you kind of get the feeling that it is going to be shorter because it's just moving to bit to bit. It's just moving really fast. And I think that was
Too fast, right?
Yeah, I like at the end of it, aside from the corniness, but I'm pretty sure we'll talk about. I just kind of I watched it and I was like, oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, wow, fast.
What would you like if you're gauging it from all the Marvel shows we've seen on Disney Plus so far? What would you? Is it like top 3, bottom 3? Where are you putting it at right now?
Oh man,
that's hard, bro.
Yeah.
Because I ain't gonna sit up here and say it's just a terrible show.
And and I agree with Marv on that. It's not a terrible show. It's actually pretty good. It's just kind of She-Hulk is a very important character in the comics, so I just wish we had a little bit more time with her. Maybe we'll get that in the following episodes. But right now, if I had to, I would say currently right now I will say I enjoyed it way more than Hawkeye. I'm enjoying it way more than Hawkeye. I think
Interesting.
But
okay.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
and I enjoyed Hawkeye, but I thought Hawkeye was toward the end when they introduced the Kingpin and stuff and the Echo thing. I was like, I don't know if I care for this. And not necessarily that I don't like Vincent D'Onofrio playing Kingpin. It's just how they kind of introduced his Kingpin, this new Kingpin version to MC. I didn't like that, but I would say right now, kind of bottom 3, probably in the bottom 3 as of right now, with the potential to get better.
Oh wow. Okay. It's okay. Bottom 3.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say bottom 3, bro. I'm not gonna say bottom 3. I'll put it in the middle because I think it's got potential, but it just depends on the speed of the rest of the series. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I just feel my thing is that with this last episode, I hope Disney don't do that shit ever again. Don't pull no antics. Or to be real, because my thing is this. I don't have no problem with Megan Thee Stallion being in the episode. Me personally, when the announcement came out that she's gonna be in the MCU, I'm up here thinking this is gonna be hard because if they give her a real role, that'll be dope. But you gonna give us this weird ass 2-minute scene that didn't make any sense and was kind of highly unnecessary. I just thought that was goofy. They could have made her an actual real piece of the story and kept that ongoing. But I get it. She probably ain't got time to dedicate to being in the MCU. I get it. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And personally, I just felt like that was bizarre being that it's Disney. So like you put rappers in Disney, like I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't really see that like being a thing. But hey, I don't know. They may be kind of turning a new leaf, but I doubt it. But I'm gonna put it in the middle. I'm not gonna say bottom three. I feel like out of the ones so far, I'm gonna put it like fourth.
I'm conflicted with this show because I feel at points I'm like, this show is very good, and then other points I'm like, this sucks. So it's like I don't know where to go with it right now. I would say if I was going to do it, I'd say it's in the middle of the pack somewhere. But like the first episode started off really well. I think after thinking about what Jay said the last time we spoke about She-Hulk, and he was talking about how she got her powers, I think I lean more towards Jay when he said he was disappointed in the way that she got him. Like, because I'm thinking about everything and it's not making sense, because if anybody can just become the She-Hulk or become a Hulk after getting blood in their body, like that's, I don't know, it's weird. So it's a lot of stuff going on right now. Like those dudes are trying to collect her blood at the end of the last episode, and I'm like, I don't know. They're kind of departing a little bit from the books. The show has its funny moments where you get a little laugh here and there. I do agree 100% with Marvin.
Right.
Where the shit at the last end of the episode was totally unnecessary. Like, I mean, that was just not needed. That literally could have been left on the cutting room floor for sure.
Right.
But I'm interested to see where they go, who they're going to tie in, who's going to be the main villain. Because right now we don't know any of that. I don't know
zero.
I don't know anything about who the actual villain is. Right now, they're just doing it like a Law and Order show. It's basically every episode they're bringing somebody, trying to get somebody off, and that's basically what it is. Which is not terrible. It's just procedurally, like I just don't understand it fitting in right now. Which I'm guessing it will, but for right now, I'm lost as far as like where they're actually going. So once they actually get it going, then I guess we see who the villain is, what's going on with Hulk. I guess I'll have a better understanding and be able to give a better rating on it at that point.
I think I kind of have a theory. I think the Abomination is going to, with this last episode, we get to see Emil Blonsky back and from the events of the Incredible Hulk 2008 film, but the show makes it appear as if he's kind of turning a new leaf now. He's about to get into this polyamorous relationship with all these pen pals that he's with or whatever. And I think we're gonna get a spin. I think really the Abomination is going to end up going back to his evil ways, and I think he'll probably be the villain, of the ultimate villain at the end. Well, yeah, ultimately he'll be the big villain or the big bad, or maybe someone else comes in at the end and is kind of manipulating the Abomination. But I feel like just adding such a big character, villainous character like him, I just feel like it would be pointless not to use him. So I think he really is going to be the end of the show villain. I also will, even though I also said that this is bottom three right now, like you, EJ, I think the show does have potential, and I think this is just from 3 episodes, and as we learn now, it's 9 episodes. So there's only 3 episodes out of 9, so it has plenty of time to get better, and I'm pretty sure it won't be bottom 3 by the end of the series, because like I said, I'm actually enjoying it. It's just right now, out of 3 episodes, I'm just saying I'm enjoying it, but like you, I think we need to see a kind of end game at some point. There's no build up, like you said. There's no build up of the villain, and so we really don't know. But I think a lot of people are excited to see Daredevil, and because maybe he's gonna, I don't know what episode he's actually gonna appear in, but people are gonna be excited to see him, and hopefully that'll start kicking off some of the bad things that happen in the show. Because right now it's all good, and if that's where they're going with it, like right now she's just adapting. We're gonna, the first few episodes, we're just gonna show her adapting to her new life as She-Hulk, and taking on this new branch of her her whatever it is, what they call it, the lawyer, they call it their practice. Yeah, she's a new lawyer in the practice, and we're gonna show that off first before things like really hit the fan. So
is it me, or has there been no action scenes at all?
I mean, if you count the one against the Hulk, and
right. Okay. It's just weird. It's just like don't get it wrong. I like the show, and it's a different pace, which is good because Marvel needs to stop making the same like procedural shows over and over again. So I like that. It's different. It's cool. It just feels like it's just talking constantly, and like I'd never like. It's not like that's the problem with that. I like movies that actually do that, but it's like with this show, it's like she's a Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no fighting. There was like 10 seconds, I think, in the last episode where the dude was trying to get her blood. That was literally 10 seconds, and the show went off. So
right.
I don't know. I just there needs to be more because right now, and like Jay made a good point. It's only 3 episodes, so I'm not going to give it a judgment at this point. But by the time we get to episode 5, I mean, we're gonna need to see some stuff or know what's going.
I'm out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, yeah, I agree with you. I will say one of the big bright sides is that the possible set up for World War Hulk. You know, we get to see. Well, the actually what started the events of She-Hulk is a shift from Sakaar coming toward the Hulk and She-Hulk, and that's kind of what starts off the events. But we find out that the Hulk is actually returning to Sakaar for some unknown reasons, and I believe I think it was easy to kind of theorize that some shit is going down to Sakaar, and maybe it's going to involve Hulk's son. Who knows? But I wonder if that's going to be a TV show, or are we going to see an actual theatrical movie?
Yeah, with the way they are talking about budget and not being able to do a lot of She-Hulk scenes because of the budget, they need to go ahead and just make a movie. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, like Jay said, it's good going. It's good so far. A couple things that they need to work on, but we'll see. We'll see, fellas.
Yep.
I think most of us, or all of us, actually watched Game of Thrones. Marv, you finished it, didn't you?
Yeah. I was watching Game of Thrones probably before y'all.
You might have. Well, I didn't watch it in season 5.
Yeah, I was watching it when I was still in Arkansas. That's how long that show been on, bro.
I wasn't on it initially, but season 5 I started and I finished I watched all of them and then finished it. But as we know, House of the Dragon is out right now. Seen the posters, seen some of the previews. Looks pretty good. Have y'all watched it yet? And do you plan on watching it?
It's cool. Like, I mean, I think if you're a Game of Thrones fan, like, it's dope. Like, is it going to be something that's just, like, mind-blowing? I ain't really seen nothing that's just nuts yet, that where it's like, yo, this show is crazy. But for the most part, I mean, it's kind of just, like, typical stuff. I just think it's just fluffer, really. Because the prequel, you know what I'm saying? So.
True. I think there was before I say how I feel about it, I think there was HBO had did two pilots. This is one of the pilots, House of Dragon. Then there was another one where I believe they were actually going to cover like Aegon's conquest. The one where Aegon Targaryen, who's like the king who kind of started the Iron Throne thing, and kind of moved to Westeros. And kind of started everything in Westeros. I thought they were going to, they did a pilot of that one, but they chose not to go through with that one. I actually thought that one was going to be more interesting, but they went with this one. And so far, I'm enjoying it. I will say that. So far, I'm enjoying it. I really don't have any major complaints about the show. To be honest, I really don't have any cons so far. I'm enjoying, George R.R. Martin has created like a very complex mythology and world within Westeros, and it's always cool seeing stuff like this. And I wouldn't say that I'm like on the edge of my seat like I was in 6 and 7, waiting for certain things to happen and seeing how they were going to pop off, because you can go look this stuff up on Wikipedia. This is like Mar said, this is a prequel, so you pretty much kind of know where it's going and how it ends or whatever. But I think it's still cool seeing how it plays out, and I think the actors have been killing it so far. I don't think I've seen any bad performances, to be honest. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
I'm gonna give it a chance because Game of Thrones was very good until the last half of season 7. So I'll definitely give it a chance. I think with this one, though, I might do what I did with the beginning of Game of Thrones and just wait until the whole season is out and then go back and finish it. But from what I've heard, like you said, Jay, I've heard from other people at my job, I've heard that it's pretty good. So nothing crazy yet. People did see some dragons and stuff, so that'd be cool to see that. So I'll give it a go for sure.
Right. I think it's a dope watch. If that's something you're into, I think it's cool. Cool to pass by time because ain't really nothing else on TV.
True. I mean, Game of Thrones it was the hottest thing out for a minute until they got us at the end. But I think that's my biggest thing is I just had a bad taste. I think a lot of people still have a bad taste in their mouth left over from how it ended. So, but with this being a prequel, just getting a chance to see how it started and leading into Game of Thrones, that should be cool. I'll tell you one I'm not looking for. I don't know about that Jon Snow show. We'll see what that's about later on because
that's gonna be probably some mid, but we're gonna see how they do that.
Yeah. But for this one,
see, I have I would say I'm actually curious if HBO is gonna reboot Game of Thrones. I heard some rumors that House of Dragon is actually secretly a reboot, and because
I wouldn't make any sense story wise at all.
Well, the reason why is because George R.R. Martin hasn't finished like the last book, so a lot of the events that happened in season 7 of the original Game of Thrones show, those aren't actual. That's not. They changed the directors, the producers.
Stuff that wasn't even there yet. It hadn't even happened.
Exactly. So they had to create a lot of stuff, and that's probably why the stuff was so bad, because they didn't have any more material to work off of because George R.R. Martin wasn't finished. So a lot of the stuff didn't even exist. And like, for example, like one of my biggest issues with the original series was, the poor writing for the Night King. Like, we have no idea who this thing is. We just know it's some evil from the north. That we don't understand its purpose really. Like, yeah, they're trying to do the long winter or whatever and kill everybody, but like, why? Like, we never get an explanation for that, and that just didn't make sense to me. But in the books, apparently there is no like Night King. Like, I think it's like in the books, from what I've learned and speaking with other friends who actually read the actual books, like there isn't like a definitive Night King, right? So, and they don't, the series hasn't gotten this far to like how it is in the TV show adaptation. So a lot of things could be switched up, and like I think right now, like even in the books, like Jon Snow is not he's not his father. I mean, his mother is not Ned Stark's sister. So like, and he's not connected to the Targaryen. I think that he may be. I think he may still be, but in the books, like, it's not confirmed. Like, there's another character that's believed to be the son of, Rhaegar and Ned Stark's sister. So it's just all these things that I'm like, I wonder if HBO is going to be like, let's kind of fix what we messed up in the first season. But I doubt that. I doubt it. And I also heard that people have issues with the intro. They're like, oh wow, you're redoing the same music. I'm telling you guys now, if they would have changed that intro music,
they would have a problem. I don't want to hear that.
Right. So that's bullshit. So it's just stuff that people just want to complain about.
In today's world, you can't make nobody happy. Just like you said, if they would have come up with a totally new, authentic intro, they'd have been people be like, why can't you just use the Game of Thrones music? So it's like you can't please anybody. At this point, you gotta just do what you gotta do with certain stuff. So yeah.
Exactly. So,
but
let's see how it plays out, man.
Speaking of prequels, I know I'm about to watch this as soon as we're done. Has anybody seen Rings of Power yet, or is anybody watching that?
I watched the first episode.
How was it, Jay?
I thought it was good. It's really, really slow. I will say that.
That is a common theme amongst Lord of the Rings. So It's common.
Right. I'm just saying, like, you get to the point where you're like, you know what? Let me start cleaning up while I'm watching.
Word. I'm like, I'm not. I tried, bro. I tried, bro. Almost snapped my neck from falling asleep.
And I'm not saying it's boring, but it's just like, there's a lot of talking, not a lot of action.
Word.
Going on, and I understand it's kind of building up the events or whatever, but I'm not gonna. It's good. It's good. I'm pretty sure at some point it's gonna pick up even more. So it's just introducing us to the world and the characters. So it looks good. I think first of all, they did not cheat the film budget because it looks good.
That's right.
I will say that.
It's the most expensive show ever, right? So.
I believe exactly, yeah. Like it looks really good, and so I will give you that. The quality is great. It looks very cinematic. The fight scene where I don't want to spoil it, but there's a fight scene toward the beginning of the show, of this big battle, and that was pretty good. I enjoyed that, and I'm excited for the series. It's definitely like another kind of Game of Thrones TV show to kind of watch. And if you love Lord of the Rings, I'm pretty sure you'll love this because this is kind of. I think this show is kind of it's not necessarily a prequel to Peter Jackson's films, but still a prequel in itself that it takes place before the actual events of the Fellowship of the Ring. And I don't think the Rings of Power are even created yet, and I think that's why the name of the show is the Rings of Power. So we're gonna see this show should lead up to the creation of the Rings of Power.
I'm gonna give it a go. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so I'm a fan of the original and then the Hobbit movies too. So I'll definitely give it a go for sure.
I dig it.
Have y'all seen? Go ahead, Mark.
No. Continue.
No. I was gonna actually get into. I think me and Jay. To totally switch off of the whole fantasy element, switch on the anime for a second. Jay, I will just let you know, I went ahead, I finished Super, so we're done with that. And I finished the first movie, so we're done with that too. Phenomenal. I will say it's phenomenal. For a minute there, I was wondering where Dragon Ball Z was going for, where Dragon Ball was going for a second. But I'll give them credit. Super was actually better than I anticipated. So I will say that.
Well, glad you enjoyed it because from what I read in the manga, because there's the manga still going on, and I think they're gonna adapt the mangas. What's going on in the manga now? It gets even better.
Interesting.
Yep.
Before we get into it, I know Marv's trying to get back in the anime. Marv, Super is one you're gonna want to pick up, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Super is.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I started Naruto, and I'm going back through this shit, and I'm just kind of like, all right, bro. It's just taking me time because it works, but so far so good though.
So watching the whole thing, bro, real quick. I'm not gonna spoil nothing from Marv going forward, but what was up with Jiren, bro? What was all that like? I ain't never seen nobody that powerful in my life, bro. Like seriously, like.
So I will say, actually, me and Riley and my little brother actually had a very in-depth talk, and I was very passionate. Because I think one of the problems that I do have with Dragon Ball Super is that the power scales are starting to become ridiculous and not consistent.
I'll agree with that. I will agree with that.
And Jiren was the first part of that problem, because there's no clear understanding as to why he's as powerful as he is, and so yeah, it's still his power is still a mystery, and I will say that Frieza, you haven't seen Resurrection of F yet, right? You just seen Battle of the Gods.
Well, is Resurrection of F actually portrayed in the show too? Like one of those where it's in the show, but it's also a movie?
Yeah, it is.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, cool. So, in the Frieza movie, not to, slight spoilers, Marv, when you get to it, but in the Frieza movie, if everyone knows, Frieza, died or whatever, but Frieza never really trained. So he never trained, right? So he actually went and trained for like 1 month. I believe like 1 year. I think I can't remember exactly. And that training like had him unlock a new transformation, and it was Golden Frieza. I know pretty much everyone has. Yeah, everyone's seen it, right? So let's just say let's just say that Frieza continues to train, and he unlocks another form. And I'm like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. It's like, okay, and I had a question, and let me ask this to y'all. This is without spoiling anything, right? Well, Marv, I will tell you this. You probably seen it. Goku does unlock a new transformation, Super Saiyan God form. You probably seen it. You probably don't know like the story part, but you probably seen it, right?
I've seen. I will say this: if there has been one anime that I've been off and on with, I have caught up on Dragon Ball Z. So this one I just haven't seen.
You've seen pictures.
Okay,
You've seen
I know about the form.
You just haven't probably. You don't know the story behind it.
Yeah. Right. It's a pink hair joint, right?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Pink hair. That's a villain character, but yeah, like pink hair and the blue. You seen the blue Super Saiyan or whatever?
Same. Yeah.
Probably. Okay, well, that's Goku's like God form. He's training with this God, and he unlocks this new God form. And without spoiling, let me ask you guys a question. In the audience too, okay? So the way it seems is happening is, and I understand, and this is kind of how the world of Dragon Ball is actually, but then logic starts coming in, and I'm like, okay, this don't make no sense. So Goku's main thing is, okay, you fight a villain, he gets his ass kicked, Vegeta gets his ass kicked, they go train, they get stronger, they're able to beat him. And it's kind of the same kind of formula, right?
That's what it is.
So,
right.
But my thing is, yeah, exactly, right? My thing is, if you're training with a god, I mean, isn't that a whole, like, kind of different scale of power, to be honest? Like, you're training with a little god. So, how the F can Frieza train and just automatically be more powerful than someone that's training with a god? And the best way to see, this is the thing. I'm saying, like, for example, let's say me and EJ were training in a hyperbolic time chamber for like, we trained for 10 years in a chamber, which is like maybe an hour outside the chamber. And then we come out the chamber real powerful, real strong or whatever. But the whole time, Marv has been training with Jesus.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
That's not indicative. But that's never been indicative of the villain's strength, though. And that's like, if you think about it, right? In every instance of like DBZ, right? They never allude to how strong or crazy like the villain is until like we get that, well, here's a villain moment, right? And then you have examples leading up of like, okay, this dude is nothing to play with because, hey, they always send out some flunky. Then again, they head punched off. And then we just like, oh, this nigga's going to end up beating the shit out of everybody. And then it just gets progressively worse before it gets better. We know this. Think about this with the original Frieza saga. Goku was in the hyperbolic time chamber, went to King Kai's planet, trained to 100% gravity, came down here and still had problems dealing with Frieza. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of just what it is. Same thing even with him fighting Broly. Everybody was like, oh, Goku this and this and that, Vegeta didn't be this and this and that. Broly came down and started beating everybody the hell up. Same thing gonna happen with him fighting what was the whole black cat nigga? The Egypt joint. What was that? What was that?
Beerus,
The god.
Beerus,
What was that?
Beerus.
Everybody thought like, man, Goku gonna wash this nigga. No, it'll get smacked around a bit. That's just how it is in DBZ. So none of that stuff makes sense. It's always kind of like the story gets presented, problem gets presented. Goku got to go through all of this just to still struggle with this person because it just doesn't make sense. This is how they frame the story. Because it wouldn't be fun if Goku just came out of nowhere after everybody then either A, died or is on the verge of dying, and then he just beat this nigga up in one episode and then kept it pushing. It don't work like that.
But see, I feel you. I feel you on that. I feel you on it. Trust me, I
So
do.
it doesn't make practical sense because I mean, think about this, Jay. Like at this point, with Goku training with the God, he's unlocked God form. It's already been revealed that Goku was the Saiyan that everybody was like, it was prophecy that he would, you know what I'm saying, he was gonna come and be like this crazy strong warrior, right? That's been proven. So technically, like, he's the strongest person in the universe, quote unquote, if we're looking at the canon of DBZ. So it's just what it is. Does it necessarily make sense in my opinion? No. But that's just what it is. It's what keeps us hooked to watch and then watch these things unfold. And that's just what it is. And then they end up throwing in some twist. Whereas like, okay, you know, he ends up overcoming. Or another thing too is that like we see what Goku is and we're studying it based upon like what in theory it's supposed to be, but how they frame Goku and how they make these stories be is Goku never really understands he's as strong as what the hell he is, right? Like think about it, when he became a Saiyan, like a Super Saiyan, right? That was a big deal in the hood, everybody flipped out, but Goku ain't really understand how strong he was. And we see that in every instance of him, you know, evolving. The same thing with this now. He training with this guy and he learning stuff, but he don't really know like who he is. Now, personally, I never understand that because I'm like, all right, bro, this is like your fourth form of you getting strong. So it's like, you kind of ought to know that you that nigga, right?
Right.
But that's never the case. The only people you really see in this entire series that be like, all right, if they turn up, they know what they're capable of and they're not going to let it be like not mistaken that they are who they are, right? And that's typically Vegeta and Trunks. That's it. Vegeta gonna tell the nigga straight up, hey, bro, you keep playing with me, nigga, I'm gonna end up turning up on your ass and kicking you across Earth. That's just what it is. He doesn't hide that. Goku gonna be like, oh, man, leave me alone, leave my people alone. The next thing you know, you're gonna have to start squabbling, and then he go crazy when he can start getting fed up and pissed off, and then he end up winning.
But
Marv, what he does.
True, but here's the thing. I understand that, but I feel like if Goku fights another person that's like for example, they introducing the concept of this divine energy and God-like powers, and that's why he's able to transform into this Super Saiyan God, right? But right. my thing is, so if this new energy, this new power is a totally new scale now. So that means you need to be fighting fighters that are on that scale now, which is understandable if someone else is stronger than him with divine energy. I can understand that. But to say that someone can train to get to that point, so like I was saying in my example, like if you're training with Jesus Christ, and you know, not trying to say his name in vain, but if you're training with someone that's supposed to be the God of everything or one of the powerful God, no amount of
that
training,
me and Jay do. Add up to that.
Right.
There's no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Jay, let me say this though real quick. Let me say this though, because like I said, I don't want to get too much into the story from Mark because I want him to enjoy it when he watches it. But I will say, I think when you first start off with Dragon Ball Super and they do the whole Beerus saga and all that stuff like that, it makes you feel like Beerus is the guy. Like he's the God. Like he is the de facto Jesus in this Dragon Ball Z world. But as the show goes on, you find out that he's not. He's just one of like these lieutenant type gods. You know what I mean?
Meaning.
You know, I'm not a spoiler for Marvin, but he's a destroyer. Okay, cool. So there's other gods,
right?
And there's people.
Wait, Beerus is in this one? Beerus is in this one? The black cat nigga?
Beerus is now officially a part of Dragon Ball Super. Like he is in the show all the time now. Like he was in the little movie, whatever. But then now he's a part of the for sure.
Yeah, because I saw that.
But like with Beerus, like you find out that he's a destroyer. Cool. Like now we find out that there's other guys though. I think that's where it comes in, Jay. And it's like, okay, at first we thought, Goku training with Beerus, he's the highest there can be. But then you find out Beerus is not the highest that there can be because technically, old boy with him might be stronger than him. So, I mean, it's like I see, but I do agree with you because Dragon Ball is doing this thing where they're just not logically right. You know, like the whole Frieza training quickly, gaining new levels we had never seen before. Goku been training with Beerus for over a year. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not plausible. That is not plausible.
Exactly.
I think that's what we're trying to say.
Right.
But with that, no, I'm just saying. But with that, that is their way of storytelling and drawing people back in to be like, oh, Riza, he just must be really cool because he can train. He ain't even got to train with a guy, and he can become strong. So it's just like, which is dumb, but it keeps you watching. You see what I'm saying? So I will say, watching Super again reaffirmed Dragon Ball being my favorite anime, but also watching Super reaffirms that Naruto storytelling is leaps and bounds above Dragon Ball storytelling.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Exactly.
Naruto storytelling is creme de la creme. It is the top of to me, it's the top you can get as far as storytelling in anime. I think.
It evokes
for
emotion
sure.
versus
character driven, deep into the characters, and which I'm not saying the Dragon Ball is not, but to me, I'm just tuning in every week to figure out what form Goku's gonna get to this week. So I will say another thing too.
I'll be tuning in to see niggas.
Why is he getting? And I'm not gonna name the new form or whatever. I don't know if you already named it, but he got to that form, bro. And I'm thinking, why don't you just go to that form from now on? Stop going to these other forms, bro. You don't need these other forms anymore. Just go to that form.
Right.
Because you know that ain't what it. Because you know that ain't what it is.
My personal,
you know they're never gonna do.
Super Saiyan is done. I don't need to see him go yellow no more. That's over with. Like there's no point
ever. But you know he gotta go through it.
You either go straight to, and that was a question I asked Riley too last time. Like I said, I'm trying to stay away from the show, but I was always wondering why he didn't go to his red form. And Riley had said he had made a mention of it, but then I saw him go back to it, and so I get it now. But it's just like, bro, my question now is, where are they going from this? Because they're running out of colors, number one. So you can't turn another color.
They're just gonna turn Goku into a nigga. That's what's gonna happen. He's just gonna get black.
You see what I'm saying? You run out of colors of hair to go through. And right. Yeah, I just don't know where else they can go as far as like power wise, because it's just like these dudes are getting ready to be crazy. I mean, there's a glimmer of where I can see where they can go, but I don't know exactly where they're going to go because the power thing, they're getting to be crazy right now. I will say the best villain, even more so than Jiren and all the rest of them, when Marvin gets to the part about Zamasu, what's the dude's name? That to me, that's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best part of Dragon Ball Super, in my opinion. So, and Hit got done wrong too. Hit got done wrong. Those two, yeah, those are the two.
Well, after you watch the movie Dragon Ball Superhero, which just recently came out, it again brings up those power scaling issues that I have, and I think that's why I'm having such a problem with it.
I saw it
because
I saw the movie.
You saw the movie?
I saw Superhero. Oh no, excuse me. I saw Broly. Sorry, I saw Broly. I didn't see Superhero. I saw Broly.
Okay, and Broly is another one. Broly is actually a big one. But see, for example, you know, when the first Broly movie came out, he was literally the legendary Super Saiyan, and that's why that was the explanation why he's so powerful, right? And the new Dragon Ball Broly, which just came out, Broly is not the legendary Super Saiyan. He is just a very powerful Saiyan for no apparent reason whatsoever.
That is the best to put it. Yep.
Right.
So I'm like, so this dude just naturally can surpass Vegeta and Goku, who have these god forms. It's just okay now. And then Superhero introduces 2 new forms, transformations, and I'm like, bruh, okay, it's just why I'm enjoying the movie now. I'm not saying I enjoy Superhero. Like I said, I think Superhero is actually the best Dragon Ball Super movie out of all of the Super movies that have come out. Still, the logic creeps in my brain. Like, how the fuck is this happening?
You can't use logic with DBZ, bro. You can't use logic. You can't use logic, bro. I eliminated that ages ago. It's like what I told you, dude. It's the same thing. Like, think about what EJ just mentioned. With like, why couldn't he just snap his fingers and just go to just the most recent form he used, right? Because here's the thing, right? Just check this out. If you look at Naruto, right, and you look at DBZ, you know, like Naruto, these niggas got like different Shippudens and all this other type of stuff, right? So it's like they can use different fighting styles for different situations. Goku ain't got that. It's just like, hey, this nigga is either gonna be stupid strong, or he gonna be mid strong, or he gonna be okay strong. That's it.
Let me say one thing on that. Let me say
There's no adapting. There's no Goku forms that adapt to the enemies. It's just that, hey, this dude is on this level, so you gotta meet him at that level of violence. And if you don't, then you just gonna get your ass beat for 7 episodes. And that's just what it is.
I'll say this, and Jay, you correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you've seen this before I did. I felt like in Super, though, they did address that, because it feels like Goku does certain forms now to fit certain fighting styles. So, like, if he's fighting somebody who is, I don't know, maybe like Frieza first form, Goku will usually go to like Super Saiyan 2 because it's powerful and it's fast. But then if his villain gets to another level, sometimes he'll skip and go to God mode, because God mode is all about speed. And then sometimes if he can't do that,
Right.
he'll skip from God mode and he'll go to Super Saiyan 3 if he's all about power. So I will say I think Super is more so than Dragon Ball Z did, because when Dragon Ball Z it was just, let me get to the best level I can get to. This one he like bounces between forms trying to figure out which one will fit who he's fighting. That's what I thought, at least.
Well, in Super, that is pretty much, you have it right for the most part. He uses the forms that kind of cater to the fight, and I think he only really goes Super Saiyan Blue. Yeah, like exactly right. So, and I think I think he really tries to fight people in his base form just so he could try to because he likes to fight. Goku just likes to fight, and that's part of the problem. Yeah, and so he doesn't, he just doesn't pull out his cards, immediately, so, and I think actually in the manga it does address the issue as to why doesn't Goku just go to his ultimate form. It's and actually the manga kind of does that now, and you see it in Dragon Ball Super, because he does spend a lot of time in Super Saiyan Blue form, because he's always just I think he's still trying to master it. So
right.
He does spend a lot of time in it. For sure. But it's just weird to me, because I don't know, man. It's just Dragon Ball Super technically takes place in between the Buu saga and the ending of Dragon Ball Z. So it is not
Right.
Dragon Ball Super is not a continuation of Dragon Ball Z, actually in between. So I'm just, my mind is just thinking wow, all this shit happened in between.
That is true. Yeah.
Right. That's a lot. I'm like, this nigga became a god and all of this, bro.
Right. So I don't know, man. I'm just saying, man. I think, because I'm gonna say this last thing. I will say this on it. Did right now, because it doesn't look like for the foreseeable future that any of the younger characters like Trunks and Goten are going to be like the main focus. I just feel like they're still going to continue to the buddy cops with Vegeta and
That's
Goku.
true.
And it's to me, it's like, okay, well, the enemies are just going to be stronger and stronger and stronger, to the point where it's if it's already cosmic level, like what's beyond cosmic now, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, like, the power scales, I think, is just getting kind of ridiculous now, because what's more powerful than after training with a god? We're training with gods now. And and
they're gonna find a way. Watch.
I'm pretty sure they will. It's gonna be freaking ridiculous.
Be something more terrifying. They're gonna have some nigga in the universe that's more terrifying than Boo, that's gonna come down and start eating everybody, and they're gonna be like, how the hell we deal with this issue, and then they figure it out. It's the same old story, bro. Fire, but still.
True. But I don't know how long you can keep this, these new transformations up. And if, like I said, if people can just train to get that kind of strong, then I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. So I mean, for all this, yep. I mean, for all this, and they just saying that you can train for 100 years in a hyperbolic time chamber, come out and you can go up in there and defeat Jesus and defeat all the angels and God himself. You know, as long as you train for a super long time. So, you know, it's just this makes sense to me. But it is what it is. It's Dragon Ball, like Marv said. It is what it is. Can't do nothing about it.
It is what it is with the story. That's what I realized after watching the newer ones, man. I was like, I'm gonna forgive what they're doing.
We're gonna move on to the we'll move on to the games real quick. But the last thing I'm gonna say on this is Goku is an idiot.
Dang.
Literally, Super is his fault.
We've been saying that, bro. We've been saying that for years. Terrible father. Terrible.
Literally, Super wouldn't be happening if Goku would just shut up.
That is a fact.
So
that's a fact.
I'll just say that, and we can move on to the games, man. We just recently, fellas, had Gamescom, which is pretty big deal. We usually don't get all of the reveals we would get usually from like what we see after E3, etc. But we did get some new some games that look pretty good. Did y'all see the Dead Island 2 trailer? What y'all think about that? Or I guess it was more like a cinema trailer.
Yeah.
What y'all think about that?
Looks intriguing. It looks intriguing. I got to see actual gameplay footage and how it plays out, man. You know how I feel about all these things. No, I always feel that they're gonna show pretty trailers, and then the next game what we gonna start seeing on YouTube. Such and such a game delayed until 2024 because.
That's true.
But for the most part, I think as a concept and as a zombie game, I think it looks promising. I will say I am tired of zombie games though, so I think like that trend within gaming is starting to kind of die out. Like I think people are kind of zombied out for now. So unless they're going to come with some really crazy and intriguing gameplay, I just don't see what's happening. I think the only game that really just kind of had me like raise my eyebrow a pinch that's like zombie based is what's that joint that's like Red Dead Redemption but with zombies, and it's like action based. It's like you made Gears of War game Red Dead Redemption and you added zombies in it. That's basically what this game is. I don't forget what the name of it is, but it looked hard though. Not gonna lie.
Jay, you know what game you're talking about?
I don't know if
I think he's talking about Days In. Where the guy was on a motorbike or something like that. It was a PlayStation exclusive.
I have to look it up, but that was hard. But I mean, Dead Island, it's good, cool. We have to see what the gameplay is gonna be like.
Yeah, I would have to see more game. Well, I would have to see gameplay because that's all it was a CGI trailer. And I didn't really care for the first Dead Island, to be honest.
Same.
It came out kind of late into the Xbox generation, toward the ending, the death of the not the death of the console, but toward the end. And I was unimpressed with the graphics at the time. I thought it looked like almost a PlayStation 2 game. Almost. And none of the story didn't. I don't know. I think the story just didn't come to me. I think at the time too, it was competing with the Left 4 Dead series. I think Left 4 Dead 2 had just came out at the same time, and I thought Left 4 Dead was kind of more appealing to me than Dead Island. And they've been trying to do a Dead Island sequel. I think they were trying to do a Dead Island 2 for a long time ago, and it just didn't get produced. But once we see some gameplay, and of course we got a black character in there, so I got to support. So once we see some gameplay, I'll be able to definitely give a better opinion. But from the trailer, I didn't really see anything like, this is gonna be exciting. I didn't really see anything kind of innovative or anything.
Right.
So, well, I will say this. In Dead Island, I thought Dead Island, the first one, did have a cool co-op. Because it was like Dead Island was kind of like a sandbox, kind of. And you could literally, you and your teammate, y'all could literally be on two different parts of the map. And taking on missions, I believe, if I remember correctly. And I think toward the end of the trailer, there's a scene where the character walks out his house, and there's other people killing zombies. So I wonder if they're just hinting at a big multiplayer aspect of it, where you have multiple people on the server.
Yeah.
So That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of in there with both of y'all. It seems like they are making they're still making a lot of zombie games, like Dead Island, Dead Rising, like what was that?
All right, bro, we get it.
Left 4 Dead, all those games, like they all came out around like the same time. So I think it'll be one of those where I'll just need to see what the graphics is looking like, because like Jay said, the first one's graphics were shitty. So if this one comes out and the graphics actually look good and there's actually like good premise to what they actually want you to do in the game, I'll fool with it. But other than that, it might be a pass. We'll see.
Right. And there's some see, I done forgot about this game now. This game I was excited for it, but then the hype drawn out. What's the Left 4 Dead? The Left 4 Dead, essentially it's Left 4 Dead 3 that we were recently playing not too long ago.
What was that? Yeah, we were
Back for Blood.
Back for Blood.
Yeah. There's some new DLC about to come out, I believe, later this month, I believe. Which is kind of late. I wish we had the DLC a long time ago, to be honest. But that's supposed to be coming out soon. So we do have some more zombie stuff coming, I guess.
Yeah. I think a cooler game, in my opinion, and one that me and Marvin know about, or a game that it was built off of. Y'all have heard of the Callisto Protocol, right? The game that's kind of like Dead Space.
It's built off like Dead Space or something like that?
Yeah, like Dead Space.
It's literally
this
Dead
shit
Space,
looks
man.
promising, bro.
It
looks promising as hell, though.
No, I agree with both of
them.
them. It does look promising, and Jay is correct. It basically is Dead Space 4. That is basically what it is. It's the same guy who did Dead Space. He just went ahead and moved in and started his own thing.
Joint. So apparently, like from what I read on it, it's basically supposed to be like Dead Space on steroids. So that's what his aim is. So we gonna see if he do that. I mean, Dead Space was a classic, bro.
Oh yeah, 100%. The first one, the Dead Space 1, is a true untrue.
Hell,
yeah,
it's fire though.
Yeah. They said that this one's supposed to have like the enemy is supposed to be like splitting into different variants and all the other, which is supposed to be take it away from it being exactly like Dead Space and some other stuff, and then the premise of it being on a different colony on this thing is supposed to be different than what Dead Space was. So we'll see. I mean, the graphics, what they did show, the little pieces of it actually look pretty good. So I'm a fool with it for sure. And I don't know if it's going to be like Game Pass or anything like that, but if I can get it for a good price, or if it's on Game Pass, I'll definitely check it out. So,
right. This is crazy because you have this, which is basically a Dead Space clone, but we also have the remake of Dead Space coming out. It's is that coming out next year, right?
Which is weird. Like, why are they doing that? Like, one of them has to know about each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the guy making Callisto,
they're trying to get that money, man.
If the guy making Callisto Protocol is coming out with a new game, but he already know they remaking his old game, Dead Space, why put out a game just like that game, compete with that game at the same time? Like, it's just
right.
Because one's a remaster.
Yeah, but I think that they were saying
one's a remaster. That's all.
Well, no. It's a full remake.
Yeah, they're actually like doing the whole.
Bruh, we'll see on that one, dog.
Thing, like where they're actually making everything over again. So
we'll see. Because it'd be like, I don't understand why you even remaking the game, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because we already know the story. We already beat it. We get it. Like, what's the point in the game? Unless you got to come here and you about to make a game that's like a prequel or something else. Like, I don't understand. Because that story's already been fleshed out.
What I think they could do, which would be smart in my opinion, is if they come out with the all new Dead Space, revamping it, bringing it back again, I would go a different direction with number 2. If number 1 does well, they can learn from the mistakes they made on the second one and maybe branch it off into something different. So, I mean, they have room to do it. They just got to hit with this remake. So,
yeah,
right. So it says that the Callisto Protocol is coming out December 3rd of this year. I mean, sorry, December 2nd, and Dead Space is coming out January 27th. 2023.
That's crazy.
So you can tell now that there's going to be a lot of content creators and the big conglomerates.
And they're gonna be cooking each other.
Yep. They sure are.
I smell a lawsuit coming.
My thing is though, the dude that did Dead Space and went over and started like you literally had the same idea for this game as you did for the last one. If I'm you, I just go back and pitch. Was it EA who did Dead Space? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's EA. It's a role or something like that.
I'm either going back and pitching to them, hey, I got a brand new idea. We can bring Dead Space back and we can revamp it and make it totally new and add in all these Callisto Protocol ideas, or just be like, let me just get the Dead Space franchise from y'all and I want to remake it into something different. But to just branch out,
I know EA ain't doing that.
Callisto Protocol, but I know y'all making Dead Space remake. Like, I don't know. That's just weird.
You already know EA is not doing that.
It's wild.
Definitely.
You already know they're greedy. That's definitely not cracking.
But yeah, it does look good though. So I'll fool with it when it comes out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey, tell us about this Lords of the Fallen game. I actually haven't heard of this one. I saw a little blurb on it online, but I don't know much about it. Marv, you know about it?
Lords of the Fallen. I've watched a little bit of stuff on it, but I don't know too much about it. Jay's gonna have to put me up on game about that one.
So the Lords of the Fallen, and the Lords of the Fallen is actually a remake of a previous game called let me look up the name. I believe it was called at the time The Fallen. Hold on, let me see. Lords of the Fallen. So I remember I didn't know it was a remake until I did some research on it. And it's funny because I have a funny little story. I remember when I was in GameStop a long time ago and I was looking for like another RPG kind of medieval Skyrim type game.
Yeah.
And I saw the original Lords of the Fallen game and I actually bought it and that shit was terrible. And hey, that brought that shit back. So yeah, so the original was called Lords of the Fallen, and I believe this one is called what's it called? The Lords of the Fallen. So they just changed the. But the thing is though, with this one seems like the first one was more like your traditional kind of RPG action adventure like that. But this one seems like it's going to be going along the lane of a like Elden Ring and the Dark Souls series. So if you watch the trailer, they're dark corridors and fighting against these monsters, and it looks like if you have a little lamp that can bring you back or whatever. So it definitely has a Dark Souls feel, but it looks pretty cool, man. I want to see some gameplay actually though, because it does look interesting enough that I wouldn't mind trying it. What you thought about it?
Yeah, if it's an Elden Ring 2, I may have to pass. I don't know.
Wow.
Don't get it twisted. When we were on our like 2.5 month run on Elden Ring, it was fun. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm still standing on it. I'm still standing on it, bro. I'm still standing on it, man. GOTY, bro.
But when I look back, bro, and I'm just like the unnecessary times that we had to do shit and trying to run over and do all this crazy crap to get these furling flowers and all this crazy shit, like, I don't know. I just don't want to go through that again. I don't want to try to beat the enemy in 4 different worlds for an hour and a half. I just don't want to do that. So I don't know if, like I said, if the game elements and mechanics of how they handle that changes, there's a possibility. But if it's going to be a clone of Elden Ring, you got to do the same thing, and they don't want you to have fun and be able to hop in and hop out of people's universes without having to do this. And you get to certain points and you don't know that the game has locked you and your crew from going back and getting together in the area because someone's already beat it in that area. We got to find out a week later after we didn't spend 40 hours trying to get in each other's games. Like, bro, it's too much, man. It's too much.
Right.
So if it's an exact clone of those, I'm gonna have to pass. But if
right,
I'll see. I'll give it a look when it comes out. I'll watch some reviews on it and check it out.
Gotcha. Well, like I said, it looks interesting. It may not even be like it may not even be an exact type of clone or whatever. Because there's a game on Game Pass, and it's pretty. I downloaded. I can't remember the name, but it was essentially Elden Ring, and it was essentially Dark Souls. And I was like, damn, coming out here with all these clones. But yeah, it looks interesting. They have Aaron Paul in the trailer narrating it. I don't know if he's going to play a big part. I don't know if it's going to be like really voice acted. Whether your hero's going to have a voice or not. But I will say though, like I read the synopsis, and of course, you play a character that's in between worlds. I said, okay, this shit is literally Dark Souls. I was like, y'all just not hiding it. Y'all just not hiding it.
They gotta steal the sauce. They gotta steal the sauce. But that is lame as hell though that it wouldn't. I don't know what it is. Like companies just won't make new things. Like just make new things. Like it's unnecessary to clone that game, bro. Like
they see something making money. They see everybody on it. They want to make their own version of that so everybody can jump on it.
So trash, bro.
Same thing happened with Battle Royales. PUBG came out, started the Battle Royale craze, and look what happened. Everybody started making Battle Royales.
Yep.
And it's lame. It was lame as hell.
Warzone, Fortnite, yep, everybody. Yep. Trying to see what else. Where the Winds Meet. I saw something on this, but I'm not sure exactly what this one was either. You know what this one is, Jack?
Yes, this is actually the game I am most excited about. This is the biggest game that really got me excited. It's called Where Winds Meet, and it takes place like I believe it's some kind of dynasty period in China, and it's an open world. It's an open world game which it reminds me, EJ and Marv, a lot of Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay,
but without that storyline.
Yes.
And it is freaking beautiful. Your character's literally walking into the streets of a city, and everyone's walking around us. It is very beautiful. The fighting, and of course, it's a melee combat game, action adventure. Fighting looks amazing. Reminds me a lot of Crouch the Tiger, Hidden Dragon, kind of. Your character can literally walk on water, and like it's literally like some Crouch the Tiger shit going on in this game. But it looks really good. You can almost call it like Assassin's Creed-ish, esque. But it looks really amazing. I'm actually very excited for it. It also reminded me of another game that's soon to be coming out, which I believe is next year, is Black Myth, Wukong.
Yeah.
With the Monkey King. It looks a lot like that, to be honest. But yeah, this one looks good. It definitely it has some kind of anime art style with some of the monsters and everything. And so yeah, if you like katanas and swords and the Chinese mythology, like Crouch the Tiger, Hidden Dragon stuff like I do, I think you're really gonna like this. It looks really good. I'm very excited for it.
I'm full with
it. I'm already on Last Trick of Yomi, so I'm fooling with that right now.
You fooling with what?
Last Trick the Yomi right now.
Trek to Yomi, yeah. It's a Game Pass exclusive game. That one's actually pretty cool too. I'm actually playing through that now.
It's fire.
I'm glad y'all found some more games because I'm gamed out on games now. I'm playing almost every game on game.
You gotta start getting the random stuff, bro. I thought I was gonna commit absolute suicide and download the Cuphead DLC, but I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna add that stress to my life.
I need to get on this battle royale with me on the Rocket Blade Point, man. I need to get on there, man. I'm telling y'all.
I watched the videos. That's not. Yeah.
It looked crazy as hell. Yeah.
Boy, that is literally Naruto meets Crouch the Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That's literally this in a battle royale. It is that awesome. So, you want to feel like Naruto, you run through the trees, go tree to trees, and use the Tsukiyomi or something, or use the Susanoo. That's the game. You know what I'm saying? That's the closest you're gonna get to a more realistic Naruto game. So, just saying. Well, I'll be standing on top of the waterfalls, watching my enemies.
Watching the waterfall.
This nigga.
we can do real quick. Talk about what will be the game of the year, and that's God of War Ragnarok coming out pretty soon. Was that November?
Oh boy, a lot riding on this game.
I'm just
A lot riding on this game.
To me, it will end up being game of the year. That's just my personal opinion.
It's a lot riding on this game. Can't be no screw ups. It's looking nice. That's all I'll say. It's looking real nice. It's a lot of pieces of the story apparently that's like riding on this to wrap up. So I don't have a PS5, but my thing is that like low key, if I could score one, I definitely will play this because it looks fire to me. If they execute this perfectly, it probably will top Elden Ring. But I don't know. We'll see.
Y'all gonna pay that new PS5 price?
I don't know about all of that, but you feel me? We'll get that figured out on the back end.
If you playing, well, we don't have to worry about that here in America, right? So we good.
Yeah.
Nah, we still do got to worry about that in America because somebody is going to try to go ahead and get in the market and make the price of the brick go up. We know how that goes, so we gonna see. We'll see how it goes in the resale game because they're not making no more of these systems super fast, unlike our good friends at Microsoft and Xbox, giving the people what they want by making more systems like righteous people should. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all know how we rocking.
Exactly. I'm excited for it, man. Like I said, once it comes out, that's going to be my straight reason to get the PlayStation 5. Like I said many times, if I buy a PlayStation 5 right now, it's literally just going to be sitting there collecting dust. So I'd rather just get it when God of War comes out. That way I know I'm going to be immediately playing it. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do. But I'm excited for God of War. And this is supposed to be completing this whole Norse god storyline. And
right,
the previous storyline with the Greek mythology, that was like 4 or 5 games, to be honest. Besides the main titles, you had the spinoffs.
Games, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of ended it kind of quick, which is cool because if you're gonna, I would love to see Kratos go to another mythology. Like I thought Egypt would have been a great one.
They can still do it. They can still.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So I'm curious to see if they're gonna, where they're gonna go after this. But I just hope it ain't rushed, man. I hope they already, delayed it. So I hope it was for something. I hope the delay was for something, and we got a quality game that we can sit and play for at least a month and enjoy ourselves. So yeah, I'm excited.
You said they delayed it. They delayed what?
Well, didn't they delay God of War before? It was delayed. It was delayed.
But they delayed it.
Not
recently. To what it is now. Yeah. To what it is now.
Yeah.
Right. But it hasn't been delayed again. They're trying to get it done. I feel like it's dropping when it's supposed to release.
Yeah, just the first and only delay. Yeah.
Like they gotta put this out when they put it out because if not, bro, that's not gonna be a good look.
That's true. That is true.
Like they got a lot. Sony got a lot riding on this one.
Yeah, they're in a bad spot right now with these prices and all this shit. So yeah, they got to get
right with these prices and everything. Like they trying to get as much money as possible. They on this game. That is not a good look, bro. That is bad business, bro. Because what else they got in the tuck?
Yeah,
it's gonna be a minute for PS5 exclusive. Yeah, it's gonna be a minute. So yeah, this is gonna have to be
right.
We put this in the show notes, but I don't know if you guys know, but we do have the title for the new Assassin's Creed.
Oh yes,
yeah. What is it, like Mirage or something like that? What is it?
Yep. Assassin's Creed Mirage.
I'm supposed to hear more about it next week, right?
Yep. At Ubisoft Forward, September 10th, and
I'm worried that
it's supposed to take place. Oh, why?
Because I'm worried. I don't know if it's going to be another standalone like Ragnarok, or is it going to be this whole always online Fortnite type experience they've been talking about? Is it that one, or is it just another Assassin's Creed game?
It's saying it is the next Assassin's Creed game, so you could take that as it being a main title.
I mean, y'all heard what I heard.
They're gonna try to make. I feel like they're gonna try to make a live service game, and that's what they've been failing at trying to do. So I don't know. We'll see.
They had
If I see the term live service, it's gonna be weird.
They had given it a code name at one point. I forgot what it was, and they were like, the next Assassin's Creed game is gonna be always online. People can jump in and jump out of your session. It won't be one. You won't be following one assassin character. It'll be like 4 or 5 different assassins you hop in and out through. And we're gonna be bringing in stuff like Fortnite where we have different events and different themes. And I was like, that's not what Assassin's Creed is. So if they're gonna make it like that, I am worried, very worried.
No, you're right. I do remember that. And there was 2 games, like you said. You're right. There were 2 games with 2 code names, and one was a live service. And currently, with the information that we have on this one, which is very little, I'm not sure if it's going to be this one. So I think we're going to get 2. This is only one of 2 other games, and I think the Mirage. I mean the live service is going to be something that they may talk about. At Ubisoft Forward, but I don't think this is that one.
Okay. If that's the case, I'm looking forward to it because I played every Assassin's Creed game that's come out, basically, except for like the PSP, whatever one put out. But I'm down for it. I played the last one. A lot of people didn't like it. I actually enjoyed it still. I played the first DLC. I didn't buy it, but I played the first one. It was actually pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a history dude, and I like stuff, so I'm down for it. Just want to see exactly what it's going to look like. I think I heard that Bassam, the guy that's from the last one, I heard he's in this. I think he might be the main character, so we'll see.
Yep, that's what it's looking like. But yeah, I don't know if I care about the Indian world that they're kind of doing, because I feel like, I mean, the first Assassin's Creed took place in like Israel or something like that, or somewhere in the Middle Eastern area. So I feel like we kind of got
this one
a little part of the Eastern. Yeah, this one takes place in India, I believe.
Interesting.
Well, okay,
it is interesting.
Or somewhere in the Middle East, I think. It's somewhere in
the
Middle East.
Vibes. It looked like he was Arabian Nights, so that's what it looked like to me. But
right.
Well, there's another picture showing. There's another picture. It says the image shows an assassin in a series iconic white robes facing off against something wielding a sword. Only a shadow of the enemy is shown, but one version of the art teases the 40 Thieves quest. And if you know anything about, exactly. So,
hey, you already know Aladdin, my nigga. So if it's yeah, I'm a fool with it. Like I say, it's Assassin's Creed. I've enjoyed the way that they do their games. The way that they actually tie it back into like the whole present day storyline that they had, even though they messed my boy Desmond up after the 4th one.
Right.
But I'll play it and see where they go with it. I'm not playing that always on though.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We say that now, but we'll see.
That is true.
We definitely gonna see.
That is true. Another game too, fellas. I don't know if y'all have seen this recently, and I will say, I had a moment of weakness and I almost bought this game, but I held myself back. Did y'all hear about The Last of Us Part 1, the remaster that just came out?
Yep.
Okay, so
yes, and that. I mean, it looks good, but it's just kind of like me. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not a fan of remasters because I'm wanting to tell them to find that shit again.
100%, and that is the weakness I had because I already played it.
He said weakness.
I had already played it before. I didn't have I had just finished beating. I went back and played Watch Dogs, Marvin, in the department. Went back and played that again. So I ran out of games, and I saw on the marketplace. I got on my PS5 quick minute, and I saw the remaster for Part 1, and they were talking about, it's supposed to be a new game experience and all this other stuff. I was charging $69 for it, and so I was.
They charging like more than what the original was. So it's like it's some
exactly. And so I swiftly declined, and I just went and started watching videos on YouTube about it. So, it does look good. I will credit the character models that they've remade do look like the ones from 2. But I can't justify paying $70 for that game. I can't do that. That's ridiculous. Not for a game that's been out twice. It's already had a remaster before this one.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's 3 games in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there a rumor about them fully remaking the first one? Is this what that is? Where it's just
that's what the rumor was, but they didn't do that though.
Gotcha.
So they went and made the first one, and they're claiming that they had to go back through and remake all of the elements from the first game, which I'll give them a little credit. A lot of the stuff looks different as far as like if you go to certain areas and certain scenes and you look at the old game,
it looks beautiful.
It looks beautiful and it's new. But the thing is, they're utilizing the same voice acting, like all the same stuff happens. So it's like with Resident Evil is a good measure of what a true remaster should be, because when they did Resident Evil 2 and 3, those games changed drastically at certain points, and it changed for the better. This one doesn't really change. It looks new, but it's all the same stuff happening. So to me, it's
just polished. That's all it is.
If you were going to do that, you should have put this $69 price tag and gave me Last of Us 3 if you were going to do that.
Boy.
What they're going to do.
That would be super controversial.
They're going to do it, though. I'm telling y'all that right now. They will be making The Last of Us 3. So.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Well, y'all, I didn't play The Last of Us. Well, I played The Last of Us 1. I didn't beat it.
I did.
I don't know Jay, you tripping, bro. Last of Us Part 1 is a top 3 game of all time.
Classic fucking game. Top 3 game of all time. You like when I say like incredible game, it's an incredible game, bro. Now Last of Us 2 was incredible too, gameplay wise, but that story was some bullshit though. And me and EJ debated about this for a good 2 hours in his apartment during the pandemic, bro. Like,
no, man.
Wow.
EJ, I don't even think EJ finished it, or he did, and it made him so mad. He's like, I'm never want to talk about this.
Yeah, I've never picked it back up. I finished it, and as soon as the game credits rolled, I've just put that game away. Like, that was the worst story. What they did in that story was ridiculous. But the game, like Marvin says, though, the gameplay itself was good. Story just sucked.
Story was really, really, like, when I say really trash, like, it threw everybody for a loop, and then the direction they took it in, and then how they made it controversial, it was stupid as fuck. Like, it pissed me the hell off.
Yeah, well,
and it wasn't even controversial. It's just that the ending itself was, like, really fucking trash.
No, I followed it. I didn't play it, but I know everything that happened. So
the ending, for a fact, I was just like, "Fam, you took me all the way through this for this shit. I'm gonna keep the bean with you. If it was me, you know what time it is. She out of here."
I tried. I tried to get out of there. They wouldn't let me. I tried, bro. I tried.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that remaster came out. Looks good. In case anybody want to pick it up, it is definitely $69. So. Yeah,
it's not the price point. Got to drop for that one. Like if they came out and they threw it to the public for $35 or something like that, I definitely would say it's worth the buy. But for you gonna make me basically double buy the game? Hell no. I still got data. I still got data under my Xbox profile for me, or PlayStation, for that. So it's like, why am I gonna pay? Why am I being double charged? That's the point. If you was gonna do that, you might as well should have just made DLC and kept it pushing.
True.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
But yeah, $70, man. Ugh.
Not for.
Especially with new games about to come out.
Exactly.
That's steep, bro. That is steep. Like 70's crazy. I'm not doing that. No. Hell no. We ain't even getting co-op modes in games now.
Yeah, they took out co-op mode.
I mean, let's not get it. Let's not get into that. Let's not get into that one. We'll say that for the next.
That's true.
Wait. I didn't know that there's a co-op mode in.
Not co-op. They took out. Last of Us 1 had a multiplayer mode. And people are mad.
And it was they killed that.
Oh god!
But they still charge you $70.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's trash.
But there's one more game, fellas, I want to talk about. I'm leaving this one for last because this is near and dear to my heart. I think it is to Jay's also. Harry Potter RPG Hogwarts Legacy. Did y'all see? Jay, did you see the magic, the evil magic trailer for that one?
Yes, I did.
The trailer looked hard. I'm not gonna hold it. We did.
I saw that today. I saw the walkthrough of all the different halls today. That they showed the little walkthroughs. You know, we were talking about nerds the other day and what it means to actually fully be a nerd, and I am 100% a nerd because Harry Potter is definitely in my top 5 movie franchises, probably.
I don't know if being a Harry Potter fan makes you nerdy though. I kind of put that in the same classification as like being a Power Rangers fan. It's something that was kind of like, I think, a part of our childhood that made it that. Now, if you was like a Lord of the Rings fan, then I think that's a little bit nerdy because Lord of the Rings has so many like different spin-offs. You feel me? So like you had the actual main story, then you had like the side stories and things of that nature, you know. But Harry Potter, like, it was pretty straightforward. And I mean, if you were a kid who came out, you know, who was in grade school when those books came out, like, it's pretty much, it's almost like, think about this, it's almost like X-Men and the Marvel canon to us, because the first X-Men came out in what, 96? Or was it like 98?
You talking about the first movie?
The first like ever X-Men movie, the one with Hugh Jackman.
1999 or 2000.
2000, yeah.
Yeah. Feel like 99, 2000. Same thing with the Harry Potter books. Like, I mean, I think I started reading Harry Potter, they came out like when I was in the 4th or 5th grade. And I mean, they stopped making the books actually like what? A little bit after we was in high school or something like that, I think. Or when I was in high school.
Yeah, the books came out when the books came out. I was reading when the books came out. So yeah.
I mean, what you said though, I think I did a lot of people go watch Harry Potter movies that didn't necessarily read the book, so they still grab fans that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people still enjoyed the movie. So, I mean, I couldn't say that just because for that reason, you know, other people, you know, weren't nerds for it. It's just, you know, nerds are more accepting to this. So, you know, back then, I had the books. I had the Harry Potter books. I actually read all of the books except.
Yeah, man. But a lot of people read them books, bro. Like, I feel like it was pop culture.
I don't know if
it wasn't just a nerdy thing. Like, nerdy things was like, think about this, like, nerdy things was like people playing like Beyblade, bro, like Magic cards, like things of that nature. Like even Pokemon cards, as popular as they were still like some nerd shit. You feel me? Versus Harry Potter, bro, that was literature, dog.
If I'm back in school and I pull out a Harry Potter book, I'm getting my ass roasted. So I don't know. I do not know. So, you know, I went to primarily black schools in the inner city of New Orleans.
I knew a lot of hood dudes who read Harry Potter books, bro. Like, because you got to think about this. No, real talk. Because here's the thing, right? I know EJ remembers this, and we all remember this. You remember there was a taboo book back in the black community, man, because what did all of our parents was on? They was like, oh, man, it's that devil worship and stuff. So niggas could read Harry Potter back in the day. But that made dudes really want to read Harry Potter even more. So that's how I know a lot of like black kids end up getting up on Harry Potter. My parents won't let us read it. Because, you know, for a minute, like, when Harry Potter started cracking off, that was like, I remember that made the news. Like, a lot of organizations like, dude, J.K. bugging out. This book is teaching this. And I was like, bro, this book ain't
that was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard of in my entire life. Like,
you're right. I was up there just like, I was like, you niggas are muggles. I said, you niggas are muggles.
But,
yeah, okay, that's some nerd shit right there for sure.
But I will say this, regardless of being a nerd or whatever, I am heavily invested. Harry Potter has always been a big deal to me. So when Jay told me about this game,
we never had a good game.
They never had a good game. Dope. And now you get to actually do an RPG at Hogwarts, and you get to be black. So yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you already know how we are.
Black with a lot they can do.
Always for the black creative characters.
If they make this a live service game and the online goes off, bro, it literally probably has the potential, if they do this correctly and keep updating correctly, to be as big as The Sims, in my opinion. Like, literally, because you can make it endless, bro. There's numerous things you literally can consistently do, and a community that's already built that will stand behind that game. It's basically fail-proof, as long as the developers.
And they've started so far in the past to where there's a million different stories you can tell. Like this could be the first of no matter how many other games that they come out with. Like this is way before Harry went there, way before Snape and all. I think
think about streaming.
No, I was just gonna say I just think like there's so much you can do.
Think about streaming Quidditch matches, bro.
Well, that's the only bad thing. We ain't gonna be able to play Quidditch in the game. Apparently.
That's true. But I mean, I think at this point in time, Quidditch wasn't invented yet. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll say this: if the worst thing is I can't play Quidditch, I'll be okay. Let me just say that. I'll be fine. That's the worst thing in the game. I'll be fine. But the trailer that they came out with not too long ago, the evil trailer, magic trailer, just the freedom it looks like you'll be able to have in this whole area just looks dope. So I'm stoked for it. I hate that it got pushed back to January, but yeah, it looks good, fellas.
Yeah. I will say this too for all the nerds out there. So I did read that if you want to get sorted into a house now before the game comes out, you can.
That's nerd shit, and I'm doing that shit as soon as possible. But yeah, I heard about that today, Jay. Yeah.
All right. So that's pretty cool. That's actually that's cool. That's innovative. That's pretty cool. So yeah. All right.
Last thing, really, real quick, fellas. Games with Gold is doing the whole family subscribing the family Game Pass thing. Y'all hear about that?
Yep, I did.
Yes. Great business move again.
So
technically,
that's the game.
So technically, how can we finesse it then? So it's like, all right, bro, I'm gonna just go ahead and just put my homies on my family stuff, and everybody just cash app in. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's kind of what it is. I mean, I'm pretty sure
that's
once
smart,
it comes
bro.
out, that's what people are going to do. To be honest, I think that's and I think Xbox knows that as well, but they're not going to. Whatever they can do to get you to buy into the program, they're willing to do it. So I think they're going to look past that.
You need to tell Netflix that shit.
Right.
Well, has any of you guys? I don't know if you share your Netflix password with other people or family members, but have you guys had any issues with sharing your password and people not being able to access your Netflix? I don't think
I haven't had it yet. I keep hearing the big bad wolf. I keep hearing about they getting ready to start knocking on doors, letting people know they got their own passwords and stuff like that. But me personally, I haven't had an issue with it. So
I haven't had that issue because I haven't picked Netflix in about a good 10 years. So I don't understand any of this, bro, because I've not used my own Netflix since I was living in Arkansas.
I mean,
it's lovely for me.
But it still applies to you though. So like, because you're on that side, when you log in, it still loads up for you though, right?
Nah, Marvin gonna get that notice one day. He log on the Xbox, it's gonna be like, please sign up. that's what it's gonna be.
Nah. Only time that happens, man, is when old girl don't pay her bill. So that is it for me, buddy.
Don't get that notification that Hulu did where please put your zip code in. Oh, your area, your location is not the same. You're right.
I'm surprised.
That's where you have to get.
But they know they're not going to do that because they're making their money. Hulu making their money through ads, not necessarily through subscriptions. So they're not worried about that. No way. Netflix ain't doing that. They've always had a bad business model. That's their issue. They had a bad business model. Then they ended up starting doing the original content. And it's like I told y'all ages ago. Where's Netflix getting all this money at to make all these crazy expensive shows? Like they was up here like, oh, this comedian Dave Chappelle got $10 million. This person got $20 million. I'm like, bro, where y'all find this money from? Because I'm about to be like, hey, all these shows ain't slapping.
No, Netflix is in major debt. So that was a big thing that came out. They're in major debt. So I don't know how lucrative this is.
It's not sustainable, man. They fired the entire Black and Netflix department, so that's gone. So I'm just like, bro, it's all a joke, man. They bleed money.
And then they get rid of all the shows.
And then Disney Plus came out. So, boy.
And they got more expensive shows along the way. They got the Avatar TV show. They have the Yu Yu Hakusho live action adaptation coming out. One Piece,
Yep.
live
Did y'all hear
adaptation.
that Sandman might be moving to another network? Because I don't think they're gonna pick it back up.
I didn't hear that, but that's crazy. I would not be surprised if Warner Brothers Discovery picks that up since it's a DC property, to be honest.
That was nice.
Yep.
So
And they knew, so it was kind of just like it makes sense. But I hear Discovery though is like they was on some BS stuff, and they low key that deal they did
It's not
was not
You
good,
can see.
and they're not
We
in
can
good
see it's
shape either. They're not in good shape at all.
Yeah, it's terrible.
it's just to me it's good and bad. I mean, would I have, agreed to canceling an $80 million film, that's already pretty much done, and you can start doing marketing for it and putting out and making that money back? I would have done that. I wouldn't have done that. But to say, okay, we're going to fix our DC universe and fix it up and actually go back to trying to make a connected universe. As a fan of DC Comics, I do want to see a better DC universe on the screen. So pros and cons for what they're doing over there. Now, I don't like the fact that they're going to be canceling a lot of the scripted content on HBO Max. I will say that.
And they actually have scripted content.
Yeah,
It's
that
pretty
was kind of unfortunate.
And the question is, are they really fixing it? Because it's like you just pushing movies back.
They gonna
Pushing movies
pay
back
for
is
it, bro.
supposed to come out. Now Aquaman and stuff ain't coming out till late next year, all this stuff like that. You're still up here taking meetings with Ezra Miller. What meetings are we having? Bro, he's gone. Let him finish this movie and get him out of here. Like, I don't know if they know, like, if you're gonna come in and talk about we're gonna revamp the whole DCU, all this, you gotta get rid of the fuckery, man. And Ezra Miller is part of it. You gotta get him out of there. So I don't know. We can reevaluate this, I think, after a year and see where they're at, because right now I'm canceling all the content off of HBO Max, and then doing what they're doing. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait and see.
Right. There's even rumor that they're canceling Titans. And I'm like, wow,
Titans is one of the best shows they have on. Exactly. I watch Titans religiously. That is a good show.
Right. So, what y'all need to cancel is that fucking Gotham Knight show that's coming out of CW. That shit needs to. I would have had no problem with y'all scrapping that shit. Yeah. That looks garbage.
Then you heard about they're redoing Batman the animated series with Bruce Timm back as like the guy, art style from the original.
Yeah.
And then HBO Max isn't picking that up, so it's going somewhere else.
Yeah, I heard because they did that with the the Cape Crusader.
I think that's what it might be called. That but
okay, so that's that one.
Bruce Timm and them, and he gotten all the original voice actors back. Everybody was back on board. Animation style was the same. He was going to continue telling the stories from the first time, with some new elements and stuff. And it was set to come out at some point next year. And HBO Max, I think, decided that they're going to let it go to another network now. So I think Netflix and somebody else is looking at it to maybe pick it up. So yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but you already way behind Marvel. This ain't the time to start coming in and making it worse.
Exactly. See how it works out, though.
Yep, we will see. But I think that's it, fellas. Y'all got anything else?
Well, that's it for me.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening as always, and we will continue to give y'all some good content.
Yes,
we'll hopefully try to get another one out next week, since we got D23 coming up and we have the Ubisoft event. So we'll try to get back on this thing quickly, but thanks again.
Peace.
Thanks, man. Peace. Feel free to follow us on all social media platforms. Catch us over on Spotify at the SHU Program and any other DSPs that you prefer to listen to podcasts on. Also follow us over on Instagram at the SHU Program. Follow us on Twitter at SHU_program. And also tap in with us, man. Ask any questions. Feel free to follow, DM us, reach out. If you like anything, follow us on YouTube. Please let us know, man. We really, really appreciate you all listening. We appreciate you all's feedback and tapping in with us content-wise, man. We would love to get to know you and figure out who's listening to us and what you all would like to see, and just for showing us consistent love week after week. Thank you all so much.